So this video is called 13 Etiquette Rules in the US that surprise tourists. Let's learn what all these etiquettes.
So our parents teach us to be polite, but what you learned as a kid doesn't always apply when you're in another part of the world.
That's
So
true.
if you're heading to the US anytime soon, I've got some tips for you on what we Americans consider the rules of etiquette and some stuff that's totally okay in the US that other countries might consider rude. Let's start off with my favorite, food.
Talking about etiquettes over here, there's a thing which was very weird to me. Okay, I got to know as I have a cousin who's in Italy, and he was talking about how you can't ask for any condiment. Is that what it's called, like salt and pepper, extra salt, extra pepper, in a restaurant in Italy. If you're eating any pasta, you order what they gave you is what they gave you. You can't put in like condiments according to your taste. And it was so weird to me. It was like the dumbest thing. But I understand different cultures, different things going on. But yeah, it was weird because I think everyone has different taste. Okay, some eat salt more saltier than others. So I don't know what kind of disrespect is that, but it was kind of like surprising to me. Okay, in some countries you can't even ask for salt.
Etiquette.
Let's learn about American. Okay,
Number 1. Feel free to ask for some condiments.
what the? That's what I was talking about.
If you're eating out and your food is tasting a little bland, it's completely fine to ask for salt, pepper, or sauces to add a little zing to your meal.
Thank God you guys have some common sense. Thank God.
I know some places in Europe see it as an insult to the chef if you start adding a little spice of your own. But don't worry about that in the US.
But think about it. It's not insult to the chef. Let's say I go to a restaurant, okay, for the first time. Now chef cook a meal, or let's say I went to have I have a plate of pasta. Assume I like more black pepper on my pasta. Just asking for black pepper is insulting. What the?
Nobody's going to be offended or give you weird looks if you ask the waiter for a bottle of ketchup. Even if you're at someone's house visiting, they won't see it as a jab to their culinary skills either.
Yeah.
Some just like it spicier than others.
That's what I was saying, Paul. What the? Okay.
Number 2. Always tip. Okay,
Always
well, maybe not always, but it's a rare occurrence if you don't tip your waiter, hairdresser, cab driver, and so on. And only if the service was really...
Okay, I recently got to know from a friend, yeah. Tip culture is very out of hand. She is from States. Tip culture is very out of hand, okay, in States. According to her. I know I haven't experienced it, but according to her, it's very out of hand. It mainly affect the workers more. Okay, so according to her, it's her words, like the restaurants hire waiters or workers at very low, like the bare minimum wage, and then they assume that they will earn from tips and everything to go about their work. Okay, I think that's exploitation. Tip should be over your minimum, not the minimum wage, but minimum salary. Okay,
awful.
Government should do about something.
But even
if that's
then,
the case.
A lot of Americans feel guilty about not leaving any tip. The rule is 15 to 20% of the bill.
Okay.
So get ready to do some mental math each time you eat out. I've heard that tipping isn't a thing in some countries, especially in East Asia, where restaurants...
Yeah, I've heard in Japan, if you tip, they feel weird. Okay.
Staff always provide good service no matter what. But in the US, it's simply a sign of gratitude that your waiter did a good job, even though they're probably tired, their feet hurt, and they've got a bunch of other tables to tend to. Number 3. Clean up after yourself at fast food restaurants. Of course, if you're going to the States, I imagine a lot of your eating out will be done in fast food joints. You'll see a lot more of those than your traditional sit and be served by a waiter types of places. But anyways, if you're finished eating and your tray is now full of wrappers, used napkins, and empty boxes, take it to the trash can and dispose of the garbage yourself. Most fast food places don't have a separate cleaning staff for that. It's pretty much always the cashier that needs to find time between ringing people up to go clean up the dining area. So we try to help them out a bit and clean up after ourselves.
Okay. Over here, like if I went to KFC or Domino's or McD, they do have cleaning staff. But me personally, I have never in my entire life I have ever left that tray which they give you, like full of my junk, whatever I had, because I feel guilty. It's just I ate it, and it's just wrappers and everything. It isn't a crockery or something like which can break or I can let. Okay, sorry for that, guys. Okay, I understand if you're at a dine-in restaurant where waiter come in giving you cutlery or everything. But at a restaurant, I think it's just being human is what you're doing. I do see, let's say there's rush hours and KFC. Most of the time I see this in KFC, not in Domino's. They clean it up quite quickly. KFC don't, especially in my area. So what happened is, like, there's a table full of wrappers, boxes, this and that for popcorns, for wings and everything. So yeah, there's bones, and sometimes you lose appetite after looking at this. So if KFC you're hearing, okay, take care of that.
Number 4. Open gifts immediately in front of the giver.
Okay, that's
now, I was pretty surprised when I found out that opening a gift as soon as you get it is considered bad manners in certain parts of the world. I guess some cultures see it as kind of greedy when you start tearing into a present right away.
Okay.
In the US, it's pretty much the opposite. Open it as soon as you get it, right in front of the giver. That way, they can see your reaction and you can thank them right there on the spot. There are also no rules about using both hands or a certain hand when giving or receiving a gift. Just grab it and open it already.
I think that's
Number
nice.
5.
I think if you open gift in front of the giver, that's the most happiness you can give them by giving your reaction. Most of the time people buy gift for someone so they can make them feel happy. So if you receive a gift and you show them that you're happy about your gift, you show them genuine interest, genuine happiness, that's the best return gift you can give them. So I think that's good.
Be ready for small talk. How about that game last night? Whew, when's this weather gonna let up already? Yes, Americans love small talk, so don't be surprised if a stranger just starts chatting with you while you're waiting in line or sharing an elevator. It could be sports, the weather, traffic, anything,
also,
just to have a short,
it's normal here also, okay? My tongue twist.
light conversation. I can't really say why we like talking to people we don't even know. But, I mean, if you're sharing a space with someone, are you just going to totally ignore their presence?
But just being human, that's what being human. You don't get... I know why people get awkward in front of other people. That's being less social, I think, okay? If you meet someone, let's say you're sharing a seat in a bus, or like saying hello never hurts.
That'd be awkward. Oh yeah, and you'll get asked how you're doing a lot, even by strangers. It's usually waiters and cashiers that'll greet you with a, "Hi, how are you today?"
How are you doing?
Just answer with "Fine," and you? even if you're not exactly having a fantastic day.
Okay, you should say fine.
Number 6. Expect a lot of smiles. First of all, let me bust the myth that Americans constantly walk around smiling ear to ear. Nobody does that, because that'd be weird. But again, if you're sharing a space and making small talk with a stranger, or maybe someone opens or holds the door for you, they'll smile at you, and it's polite if you do the same. Cashiers and waiters also greet you with a big friendly smile. I read somewhere that this goes back to our early history as a country built by people who all spoke different languages. They didn't understand each other all that well, so they just smiled. But I still think we just like to be open and kind. Number 7. Respect the bubble. Now, here's a pretty funny thing about Americans. We're friendly, we love to chat, but we also really like our personal bubble. The unspoken rule is to stand about an arm's length away when you're talking with someone. We're also not too big on touching during conversation, because this can be misconstrued as a way of flirting. Of course, the rule doesn't apply with close friends and family, but still, even then.
If you're meeting for the first time or you someone who is stranger, I think I understand. Okay, I understand. There's a certain space between you and the person which is comfortable and which is uncomfortable, and touching, like, I don't think handshakes or is something which you should consider romantic or something. But yeah, I understand if you're touching their shoulders and everything, it can get a little bit.
Most Americans aren't too touchy-feely. Number 8. And definitely no kissing.
No kissing?
I know in countries like Spain and France, people often greet each other with a peck or two on the...
It's very European thing, kissing. In Asia, most of the country, you can't kiss in public. According to this video, it's not very, you can kiss on streets, I assume, in America, but you can't kiss like strangers. If that's true, you're meeting someone non-romantic. Okay.
There might be some Americans who greet the European way, but overall, we don't kiss each other as a way to say hi. Again, my personal bubble is my sanctuary, so don't come in it with puckered lips.
I think it's gross, kind of. That's my personal opinion. If you are just strangers, or let's say you're friends, but like of same gender, or let's say you're friends but not best friends, kind of, okay? It's even gross with best friends, okay? But still, I can give that a pass, a little. I can understand if that's your culture, but I can't understand if you're kissing everyone, like whoever your friend is.
Pleasing. It's best to just say hi, smile, and keep it at that. Number 9. Being loud is usually okay.
Yeah, the
stereotype of the loud American tourist might ring true most of the time, since we tend to project our voices, even out in public. It's not that we're yelling all the time, but I'd say we certainly speak louder than people in Europe or Asia. I've gotten some friendly reminder to take it.
Yeah, talking about loudness, even in Asia, there are some countries like Japan, Korea. I'm assuming, not assuming, but somewhat of my knowledge. These countries don't let people, like, it's bad manners to speak, even talk in public spaces like metros and everything. But over here, it's fine. Over here, you can talk as much as you want. If someone's not happy with your talking, they can shut their ears down, plug them up, whatever. It's not your problem.
Down a few decibels when visiting
You can, don't talk me wrong, okay? You can ask if someone's being extra loud and someone's like sick, or you have some elderly people, those are like hearing problems and everything. You can ask, like, he's having a headache, can you guys lower your voice? And usually people will. But if you go to a group of people enjoying, laughing around, and just talking loud. And if you go to those people, that group, and you're gonna say, "Hey, can you lower your voice?" and this and that, they're gonna fuck you up. Okay, they ain't gonna wait. They're gonna go like something, and then they're gonna beat you up. Okay.
My friends abroad. But hey, if you're ever in the States, feel free to laugh out loud or get particularly animated while telling a joke.
That's what I like.
But of course, there's a time and place for that.
Yeah. It's common sense, I think. In a library, you can't laugh and talk in any part of the world.
You still have to hush down in places like libraries.
Hush down. That's
Number 10.
Nice word.
Indirectness is politeness.
Indirectness.
So here's the thing about Americans. A direct, "no, I don't want," or "like that" is seen as pretty rude. But if an American gives you a polite, "no thanks, I'd rather not," or "I don't think that's the best idea," that doesn't mean that they're on the fence about it. No means no, even if it's said indirectly and super politely. It's frowned upon to try and convince someone to do something or change their mind because it's seen as pushy and disrespectful to their wishes. Number 11.
I think being pushy, and if someone say no and you're still being pushed, like pushing around, like there could be two things. Okay, one is an education, like person is not well educated, they don't know manners. Other thing is desperation. That person is very desperate about something, whether they want you as their partner or want any business deal or this and that. Okay, other than that, I don't see any other reason why you be pushy about something if someone say no. Okay.
Sit in the back seat of a cab. Now this is something interesting I found out about Australia and New Zealand. There, it's considered rude to take the back seat of a cab because it's almost like you're showing that you expect to be chauffeured by someone who's lower than you.
Okay.
Well, don't worry about that in the US.
Yeah.
In fact, you should ride in the back seat because the driver might give you a weird look otherwise. It's not an elitist thing, and you can still make friendly small talk from the back. Just respect the driver's personal bubble, that's all. Number 12.
That's good.
Feel free to keep your shoes on inside. I had a friend from Russia recently ask me, why is it that in all American movies, people are walking around their house with their shoes on? And I just told him straight up, because that's what we do. Now, there are plenty of families here that don't have a no shoes indoors policy, although I'd say the majority don't. So here's a good rule of etiquette to live by if you ever visit an American's home. When you walk in, ask if you should take your shoes off at the door. If they say, "Nah, you're okay," don't feel bad about walking around their house in your shoes. I know it seems bizarre to most people around the world, but it's A-okay here.
I do understand this shoe situation, but what I think is, that's my personal choice. Okay, in my house, we don't have this policy of no shoes. We like keep our shoes on. Everyone keep our shoes on, but there are like places where we don't let outside like shoes, outgoing shoes enter, like in our bathroom. For bathroom we have different slippers, and for guests and for personal use, and for kitchen. Yeah, so these are two places where we don't let outside shoes come in. But most of the places, like in rooms, who goes in bedrooms? Okay, no one's gonna come in my bedroom. They're gonna living room. Most probably they're gonna stay there, talk there. Okay, if someone's so personal, then it's who's coming to my bedroom. Then it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah.
13. It's okay to keep it casual. Overall, I'd say the biggest thing about Americans is that most of us are pretty casual and laid back. If you're ever out and about in the US, you'll see a lot of people running errands in sweatpants, gym shorts, baseball caps, and even their
That's the
PJs.
best, guys.
But
That's
it's
the
not
best.
just about clothes either. We
Just
often keep
feel
it on a
comfy.
first-name basis, even with people that are generally referred to more formally in other countries. For example, most of the time your boss is just Jim or Janet, not Mr. or
In Asia, you can't. Okay, in most of the country, you can't. I know about Europe. I know about America. According to this video, you can call them by their first name. But over here, not only here, but all over Asia, as of my experience or as of my knowledge, you call people by formal people by their formal things, like formal name. You can't call them Jones or this. You have to call them by sir or boss or this and
Mrs.
that.
Jones. You might start off more formally, but
Mr.
I guarantee you that
X,
that person
Mr.
will
Y.
say right off the bat, "Hey, call me Jim." Now, what would be weird is if their name isn't Jim. Maybe it's Howard or Benny. Then what you say is, "Hey, call me a cab."
Call
So,
me.
are any of these Americanisms different or the same in your country? And to all my fellow Americans, can you add anything to the list? Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But hey, don't go call me a cab just yet. We have a
Okay, guys, I learned a lot, and thank God you guys aren't weird, and most of the things match with my country, especially the condiments. Especially the condiments. Thank God you guys have sense that different people have different spice tolerance, different people taste. What the heck? Why you don't let someone use salt, bro?